And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Grants alongside Tommy Krysan, TK broadcasting on this Friday morning from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, the place to go this weekend to get all your booze for the weekend, all the stuff you need to cook up and grill, all the great meats and steaks and everything. Also, I'm coming to you from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studio, and we're presented by L'Auberge Casino, where this weekend there is the Owners Weekend, which is the biggest weekend of the year for their top customers, as well as the opening of Edge Bar, the Edge Lounge, which, folks, if you've been to the casino over the last 10 years at L'Auberge, you know you haven't seen for the last year or so. The Edge Lounge, well, that's because the old space got, reused for gaming. They moved it. It's a new music venue that's going to open on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays with live music Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights. It's going to be really, really nice. Looking forward to seeing it. I've had a sneak peek about a month or so ago behind the curtain, and it is fabulous. That's over at L'Auberge, Baton Rouge. TK and I will talk today, of course, LSU, our Kentucky Super Regional. The Tigers have themselves a battle on their hands, and I'll tell you all about it and why. Speaking of Super Regionals, underway today, 4 games today that are in the opposite bracket than the Tigers. TK will go through that rundown for you. So we'll have college baseball on the air in about just over an hour and 20 minutes from now. So a pack-to-pack, jam-packed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of college baseball to watch for the Super Regionals. And then we'll talk a little Rougarou. The Rougarou have won a couple in a row. They're now 5-3 on the season. 8 games in. They hit the road for 4 games in Texas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and will return home Tuesday for their next home game. Rougarou only have 1 home game over about the next 9 days or so. So get on out to the ballpark Tuesday, May 13th. Tuesday, May 13th. Make your plans.
June 13th.
June 13th, excuse me. Tuesday, June 13th. And then TK will tell you about the NBA Finals Game 4 coming up. He'll tell you who he's going to pick on the gambling line. But the Nuggets are up 2-1. They were the favorite big time going into the series, and they definitely looked the part after the first 3 games. And a clarification from the PGA on the Live PGA merger. Was it? Was it not? We'll tell you about that as well. Let's first talk a little LSU Kentucky baseball, Tommy. And, a lot of the conversation yesterday with Jay Johnson was about the last couple of days was about what did you learn from your team regarding Kentucky when you played them 3 games in April. And one of the things he talked about was be patient at the plate. Now, Kentucky did not throw a lot of strikes against LSU in that first series. And quite frankly, Kentucky could have won that series against the Tigers in Baton Rouge had they thrown strikes. But they didn't. They walked 25 in 3 games. They hit 12, which is unbelievable. An average of 4 hit batters a game. LSU averages nearly 2 hit batters a game. But they plunked 4 a game. And that really was the difference in that series. They were much better last weekend in the regular regionals. In 3 games or so, they only walked 7, and I think hit 5. But that said, that's been a big part of LSU's success on offense really since Jay Johnson arrived in Baton Rouge, and that's something the Tigers are going to have to continue this weekend.
No question about it. And these 2 teams were very different in the middle of April than they are now for lots of reasons. I'm sure Coach Mingione was here. He'd tell you, yeah, we're a lot different. And Coach Johnson will tell you, and we know that we follow LSU daily, very, very different. Now, look, I talked to Todd Walker, your old teammate, the other night when he threw out the first pitch of the Rougarou game. Of course, he follows the SEC as much as anybody. He says, I'm telling you, Kentucky's got some live arms. Some of the guys they're going to throw this weekend weren't starters back in April. We talk about the teams being different. He said they got some guys from 92, 94 with a lot of sink, a lot of, movement, this, that, and the other. They like to steal bases. They like to bunt the ball, almost a throwback to small ball. He said he thinks LSU's going to win. I think LSU's going to win, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, they're going to have to play their best baseball because Kentucky's good enough that, if LSU doesn't play their best baseball, they're going to get beat. Charles Hannegriff and I talked last night during the Rougarou broadcast. If you're one of the 16 teams playing in the Super Regional, number one, you're a very good team. Number 2, you're playing really good baseball right now. I don't care if you're Oral Roberts or you're Indiana State. You're playing your best baseball now. and that's the case for LSU, Kentucky. And they're going to have to play well to win. You're not going to be able to make errors and base running mistakes, and it's going to be tough to overcome because everybody's, geeked up, wanting to, get to Omaha.
Unlike in NCAA softball, where Oklahoma won its third straight state, national championship last night, and they've been the dominant program for years in softball. But unlike that, it's any of these 16 teams legitimately have a chance to win the national championship. I really believe that because no matter how good these teams are, or some may be obviously overachieved to get to this point, even the best teams are not flawless. And you look at LSU, I mean, okay, yeah, Paul Skeens scares you, but he's not invincible. He's got a couple losses this year. And outside of Paul Skeens, you don't look at LSU and think, oh, we got no chance against those other guys. So even if you lose that Paul Skeens game, it's a 2 out of 3 deal. So whether it's the Super Regionals, whether it's the finals of the World Series, I think every team that's in the Super Regionals, obviously some more than others, can legitimately say, hey, one game at a time, we got a chance to shock the world, win a national championship. But LSU's got a formidable opponent in Kentucky because unlike the series when they played them in April, they generally don't hurt themselves. So something to watch. Will they throw strikes and not hit batters, which they didn't do the first time around? And then also, will they kick it? Against LSU, they had a number of errors, which was uncharacteristic of Kentucky. They lead the SEC in fielding percentage. They lead the SEC in fielding, stolen bases, and bunting, sacrifice bunting. And that is a traditional West Coast style, right? Don't hurt yourself, play good defense, obviously manufacture runs, steal bases, all that sort of thing. They've got those three components throughout the year. Will the moment, will the pressure of the road, will the big stage kind of make will they shrink up? And will they make the mistakes like they did in April, or will they have gotten better and rise to the challenge and the familiarity of the box, being that they were here just less than 2 months ago, help them? That'll be the key to watch. And for LSU, I mean, to me, Skeens has got to win, and then you got law of averages on your side. One of the next two you can go get with whatever you got left pitching. If he loses, I don't believe in LSU's pitching staff from top to bottom against a very good Kentucky team that they can win 2 in a row without Paul Skeens.
Yeah, and Coach Johnson will meet with the media a little later this morning. I guess he'll formally announce that Skeens is throwing. It hasn't been officially announced, but there's no way that's not going to happen. 2 o'clock, main platform of ESPN. The box will be crowded. It'll be hot, all that good stuff. But, yeah, you're right. If Skeens wins, the LSU's chances of winning the Super Regional go up through the roof. If they lose, I'm like you. It's going to be very sketchy to see if they can, win twice. Keep in mind, there's no 10-run rule in effect in the Super Regional. So you're going to have to play 9 innings. You're going to have to get 27 outs. LSU's going to have to play very, very good baseball, which would be a good thing to carry on into Omaha. And it's going to be fun. All the Super Regionals are going to be fun. I'm going to watch a lot this evening. Kind of busy today, but I'm going to watch a lot of it this evening, and I'll keep an eye on all of it tomorrow. And it's a great time to be a college baseball fan.
We'll talk plenty more about this series tomorrow morning. We'll obviously have more information on the pitching matchups tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio. 10 to noon. We'll be over at LeBear's Casino tomorrow morning in the Barstool Sportsbook from 10 to noon on 104.5. So tune in to that. We'll have some special guests as well. Doug Thompson, Buzzy Heidel, they'll join us on the show as they have done LSU baseball. They did the Super Regionals, a 3-man booth with Chris Blair last week. All right, we move on. Baton Rouge Rougarou win last night 5-3. You can follow along tonight. All the games in the league are always 7 o'clock. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Roug on the road, 7 o'clock. Go to brrougarou.com. You can click the link to watch the games on TCL TV. So we hope you will do that. Rougarou off to a very good start with Rooster Southall at the helm. PGA and Live. This is interesting, Tommy. The PGA Live Tour, the big headlines a couple of days ago, everybody talking about it. These two organizations have merged. They're working together, et cetera, et cetera. Now they're backtracking. The PGA comes out and clarifies, says, no, this is not a merger.
Well, they've said this is not a merger. It's not Jay Monahan, the commissioner, one of the people right under him, said it's not a merger. PGA Tour will remain as is, but the PIF, the Private Investment Fund, and the Saudi Arabia-backed thing will be underneath the umbrella of the PGA Tour, separate entity. And, they don't have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, not even close. There's a lot of people that need to know what's going on, and, they don't know what's going on. But it's just not in effect until 2024. So they've got the coming months to cross T's, dot I's, make a plan, let everybody know. Dan Patrick this morning commented that, yesterday they tried to reach out to Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, all the key people in the world of golf, trying to get some guy, Brandon DeChambeau, Greg Norman. They called them all trying to get some comments, and nobody's available because they don't know what to comment on. That's what you got to know here. You can call Jack Nicklaus, hey, Jack, we want to talk to you about PGA Live. He goes, I don't know what to say because I don't know what exactly is happening. The players are playing in the Canadian Open this weekend. They're getting hit with the press, and they're like, hey, I don't know. I learned about this 10 o'clock Tuesday morning on Twitter like you did. I mean, this has been an awkward way of releasing this info and going about it, almost backwards, if you will. You would think they'd have a press conference and go, all right, here's what we got, A, B, C, D, E. This is what it is. They're going to have to do that down the road, and it's going to change. And there's a little bit of a mixed commentary on whether this is going to be good for golf short-term and long-term. And, but nobody really knows. I mean, I'm going to go back to the old Rants 13 thing. You got to let this play out. You got to let this play out. The U.S. Open's next week out in Los Angeles. I mean, that's a major eyeball tournament. TV ratings through the roof, and you're going to have some live golfers playing in it. And maybe by then you can get some more information. But it's going to take a while to put the whole picture into focus.
So basically, this sounds like this leaked out, Tommy. It wasn't a planned thing, right? I mean, like somebody got information and leaked it. I didn't even look at the genesis of where this came from as far as the announcement. But was this accidentally leaked out? Because it seems to me they just don't have enough of their ducks in a row. You'd have thought they had a little more information. They would have been able to put out a press release with some bullet points. They would have been able to maybe, at least send it to the PGA Tour players and members 5 minutes before they released it to the world or something. It just seems like this got out ahead of them.
I don't think it was leaked. I think it intended to come out. There's a guy on the PGA board, Dunne, D-U-N-N-E. I forget his first name. He's the one that did the negotiations with the guy from the Private Investment Fund. For 7 weeks, they've been talking. And then, it came out that they are going to have a new way to look at the whole world of golf. And then the other thing is this, Ronnie, not only is it going to be a new way to look at the world of golf, but, I mean, you got people that don't know what's going on, and everybody wants to know. And the other thing is all the litigation, all the lawsuits that were flying between, all of that has been wiped away. There's no more and part of that is the PGA Tour knew they couldn't win the lawsuits. It goes back to what we said the other day. If you and I play poker and you got $10,000, I got $1,000, you're going to win the match in an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. You're going to come out on top, and I'm going to be gone. Well, I think the PGA Tour, from what I have read, and I've read a lot on this, feared that they would lose the poker match because they don't have the deep pockets that the PIF does. And now, here's another thing, Ronnie. Let's say this. Adam Silver was on Dan Patrick yesterday. Very good interview about the NBA. He talked John Moran. Dan Patrick, one of my favorites, he said, could the Saudi Arabian Private Investment Fund buy an NBA team? Dan asked him. I'll give credit to Silver. He said, no, a private investment fund can't buy the team. But if they had one person out in front, that person could buy a team with the Saudi money. So he didn't rule it out, but he did specify that, they're not going to, like Live Golf, the PIF is not going to come own an NBA team, although they could probably buy 2 of them before lunch today. They got enough money. It goes back to follow the money. It's all about the money.
It's I can't wait for about 3-4 years from now when there's the 30 for 30 on this deal, and we get the or how about full swing, how great is that? They just happen to come around at the perfect time, right? I mean, the documentary that's on Netflix about golf, which which is the folks that did F1 and the folks that did the tennis one as well. It's fantastic.
Right.
They
Speaking of
happened to
that,
be doing their documentary last year when the whole live thing happened. Well, now they're filming year 2, season 2, and this is all happening.
by the way, the PIF, Saudi Arabia, are major investors in F1. Okay. And Adam Silver also said they're major investors in a lot of companies who you use their products and services on a daily basis throughout this country, our country. You just don't know that what they're in, but they're in F1, and there's other things that they're involved with that, these people are saying, okay, I'm not watching because of the Saudi Arabia money. Okay, but then they're going right to a product or a service that they are backing. They just don't know that it's being
listen,
backed.
Tommy, it's the same with the whole China thing. You got people that have an issue with China, but everything we do and watch and own and everything has China origins or China investment money. So if you're going to start boycotting or jihading every country, every dollar bill, where does it come from? I mean, that's going to enjoy that life.
I would offer this suggestion. Okay, I've changed a lot in the last 5 years about getting upset about things like all of that. Do what you want to do when you want to do it. Use products and services that you enjoy, you have value in. Enjoy the sports world. Know that there's a million things behind the door or under the surface. And if you don't want to, go find something else to do with your time and your efforts and your money. And because you and I are not going to change what's going on. You and I and everybody that listens to Sports Shorts Daily and Sports Shorts Radio is not going to change it. So you either embrace it. It's kind of like when NIL came to college football. College sports. You either embrace it and make the best out of it, or you're going to get left behind.
All right, 2 other quick things to touch on, NBA Finals and today's college baseball super regional schedule. The NBA Finals, Game 4 in effect in Miami. Nuggets up 2-1. The Joker with a record game in Game 3, a triple-double where he had over 20 rebounds. Unbelievable. What's the betting line tonight, and who do you take?
Well, the Nuggets are a 3.5-point favorite. It was 2.5 2 days ago. Game is in Miami, over and under 210.5. I'm going with the Nuggets to win and go up 3-1. You go with the Nuggets minus 3.5.
All right. The Nuggets are by far the best team. I mean, you look at Miami, the game they won, they eked by. The Nuggets could have won a championship any of the last 2 or 3 years. They were good enough to do that. This is their year. I think they're going to get it done and probably win the next 2, in my opinion. Although, I love the Heat. I love their heart. I love their story. I love Jimmy Butler. But the Nuggets is just too good. Today, college baseball, a good matchup, a variety. I mean, this is, we thought it was going to be a loaded SEC centric type thing, names No, ACC, Duke versus Virginia at 11 o'clock. They get underway. TCU dominated Arkansas. We expected this to be Arkansas hosting Indiana State. Instead, it's TCU on the road at Indiana State. South Carolina, Florida, an SEC matchup there of 2 teams from the same division. Oregon, first time in a super regional. Oral Roberts, first time in a super regional. Oregon hosting Oral Roberts. So we know that's going to be interesting for one of those 2 teams to make it to Omaha. So this is the bracket that's opposite of the one that LSU would be facing if they make it to Omaha.
That's right. So, you got the SEC matchup, 2 teams at South Carolina, Florida, they know each other. I'm curious to take a look at Indiana State and Oral Roberts, kind of the Cinderella story.
Mid-majors, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the Miami and San Diego State in the March Madness. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and hopefully they can all get these games in. And I'm looking forward to it. It's the zenith. It's the epitome of college baseball, super regionals, and then go to Omaha and play.
Tomorrow, LSU at 2 o'clock. By the way, Ben McDonald will be calling the action. He'll be the analyst. And Todd Walker will be over at Southern Miss. He'll be doing that Tennessee Southern Miss series. You can watch
that series. They're already very chippy. the whole thing. Tennessee thought they should have been hosting that super regional, and their fans have lit up social media making fun. They're making fun of Hattiesburg, like you don't even have an Applebee's, and then the mayor of Hattiesburg's firing back saying we got 200 restaurants here, blah blah blah. And I mean, it's been funny in a way, but I don't know if this slips onto the field, it's going to be some interesting side stories with Southern Miss and Tulane. Southern Miss with a great story with Coach Berry, retiring. When Coach Taylor retired a couple of years ago, they went to Omaha. So can they repeat that story with Coach Berry? So that's going to be interesting. And Tennessee's Tennessee. They can be as good as anybody, and then they can screw it up as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
For Tommy, I'm Ronnie. TK, I'm going to let you get it out of here. Take it out of here. Tell us about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts Radio, 10 to noon on 104.5.
No question about that. Appreciate it, Ronnie. Tremonti's lunch special today, fried catfish with crawfish etouffee on it. Going to have bull crab special next Tuesday the 13th. Before you go to the Rougarou game, come get some bull crabs, and they got the Corazon tequila, lots of other wine, whiskey, everything you need for the weekend. If you're grilling for the LSU game at 2 o'clock tomorrow, steaks, 20 flavors of sausage, pork chops, chicken, they got it all here, not to mention all the seafood that you need. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. All right, don't forget, I'll be on the phone at 11 o'clock tomorrow, but Hunter McCann, Ronnie Rance will have Sports Shorts Radio with Buzzy Hydell, Joel Davis, Doug Thompson all tomorrow morning, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Don't forget to like and share this video. That helps us out a lot. You get what you pay for. It's free for you to watch Sports Shorts Daily, but you can really help us by liking and sharing the video. And, of course, don't forget, you can watch Rougarou baseball on the road this weekend at TCL TV. Go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com or go to brrougarou.com. Scroll down the schedule, and there'll be a Watch Now button where you can watch the contest tonight. Rougarou 5-3 on the young season. On behalf of Ronnie Rance and all the folks here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, we'll talk to you again Monday morning on Sports Shorts Daily, recapping the weekend, seeing where we're at, and, of course, Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.